Jasmine Anderson for our Halloween special, dressed as a pirate, and as some of you may know, she has performed in some of the Renaissance festivals as a pirate in this same costume. And she has some really neat stories to read about, books, and I'll let her tell you all about them.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you. So
yeah, this is my second year back doing this. The first time I did this, I was also dressed up as my Pirates of the Caribbean character, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. As Ruth mentioned, my name is Jasmine. I work underneath Business and Finance in the Office of Financial Services. So for you students, when you pay tuition, I see that coming. So that's my job, is to make sure that your tuition money, with your tuition money, the debits equal the credits, everybody's happy. That's my job. But for today, I'm here as Calypso. And if you've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies with Johnny Depp, then you should know who I am right now. If not, I highly recommend watching those movies. Obviously, they're some of my favorite movies, or I would not be dressed up like this today. So my character is in the second and third movies. She's a little more prominent in the third movie. And the latest movie that came out, she's not in it at all, so it's a little sad. But anyways, to keep with the pirate theme, I have two books that I'm going to read. The first book is, and both have little hints of poetry in them, so if you're not poetry fans, that's your warning right now. But if you want to stick around, you know, they're pretty good stories. The first one is called The Ballad of the Pirate Queens, and it's by Jane Yolen and illustrated by David Shannon. It's a really neat children's book that I came across recently, and it talks about the pirate queens being Bonney and Reade, the two infamous women pirates that actually existed. So that's what we're going to start off with today. I'll do my best to hold it up so everybody can see the pictures, but arms are kind of tight, so I'll do my best. Okay. Port Maria, 1720. The autumn seas are deep and dark in Port Maria Bay. The tunny fish all leap and sport around the bustling quay. What news, the people cry. What news bring you to town? The governor has sent his ships to pull the pirates down. The governor has sent his ships with cannons all a-bristle, and on the silver sea they sail just like a stinging thistle. And silver the coins and silver the moon, silver the waves on top of the sea, when the pirate ship comes sailing in, the gallant Vanity. Now one small sloop that flew the black was Rackham's Vanity, and it was manned by 12 brave lads upon the rolling sea. When it was far, far from shore, those 12 brave lads were 10, for only on the sloop was known that 2 of them weren't men. Though only on the sloop was known that one was Bonney Ann, and one was Reade, who dressed exactly like a man. What news, the people cry? What news brings you to town? Barnett has sailed his man-o'-war to pull the pirates down. Barnett has sailed the Albion upon the autumn sea to capture Rackham, Calico Jack, and the gallant Vanity. He slipped the western point of land all on that autumn day, and there the pirates lay in wait for their accustomed prey. And silver the coins and silver the moon, silver the waves on top of the sea, when the pirate ship comes sailing in, that gallant Vanity. The autumn seas were deep and dark near Point Negril that day. 2 pirates stood upon the deck, the rest below did play. The rest below did drink and sport, while up above the 2 kept silently their daily watch for Vanity and crew. A ship, did Mary cry, and Annie cried, man o' war! But down below Jack and his men did drink and sport some more. And silver the coins and silver the moon, and silver the waves on top of the sea, when the pirate ship comes sailing in, that gallant Vanity. A ship, did Mary cry, come up and lend a hand. But Rackham and his merry men came not to her command. a ship, then Anne cried too, or else we will be taken. But Rackham and his merry men their duties had forsaken. So shoulder to shoulder and back to back stood Mary and stood Anne. Never was it said that they were feared of any man. But one and two and through, Barnet's men plowed their blades, until they'd overpowered both those doughty pirate maids, until Barnet had overcome and brought them both to shore, aboard the mighty Albion, that bristly man of war. What news, the people cry, what news bring you to town? The Vanity is captured and 2 pirate queens brought down. And silver the coins and silver the moon, silver the waves on top of the sea, when the pirate ship comes sailing in, that gallant Vanity. The winter seas were dark and cold around Jamaica Isle, when Bonney and Mary Reade were readied for their trial. They marched along the prison walk, they passed Jack's cell block by. Called Anne, if you'd fought like a man, my Jack, you need not die. If you had fought right by my side, this day we'd both be free, as sailing in the open air all on the silver sea. The pirate queens before the judge each pleaded for her life. I'm about to have a child. I am a pirate's wife. Oh, you may be a pirate's wife, or by a man beguiled, but never would I hang a maid and kill the sinless child. So Calico Jack and all his crew hanged on the gallows tree, but Bonney Anne and Mary Reade were by the judge set free. And silver the coins and silver the moon, silver the waves on top of the sea, when the pirate ship comes sailing in, that gallant Vanity. And they still say on autumn nights in Port Maria Bay, where tunny fish all leap and sport around the bustling quay. A ghostly ship sails to and fro above the silver waves. Then Jack and all his coward crew rise anxious from their graves, to sail the endless ocean round. No, never a rest they get, but Anne and Mary's children's children round their households play. And silver the coins and silver the moon, silver the waves on top of the sea, when the ghostly ship comes sailing in, that gallant Vanity. So that was the end of that little poem. And at the end here, there's just a little author's note to give a little more background on Anne and Mary. And it just says that Bonney and Mary Reade were women pirates who sailed with Calico Jack Rackham's crew in the sloop Vanity along the coast of America in the 1700s. In fact, they were the most famous women pirates in the world. Stories about their trial on November 20th, 1720, filled the penny papers and news sheets of the day. Captain Jonathan Barnett's man of war, Albion, captured the Vanity because only Anne and Mary were up on deck and willing to fight. The men were below drinking rum and playing cards with 9 turtle fishermen they had captured that day. Anne visited her husband Rackham in prison and said to him, I am sorry to see you there, but if you had fought like a man, you need not be hanged like a dog. Then she walked away. She and Mary Reade pleaded their bellies, meaning they were pregnant. Some say Mary died in prison and that Anne's father got her off free. She settled down as a poor but honest housewife with 2 children on a small Caribbean island. Others say that Mary did not die, but feigned death and was carried out of prison in a shroud. Still others that both Anne and Mary were set free by the judge, then moved to Louisiana, where they raised their children and were friends to the end of their lives. We can only imagine the stories they must have told at bedtime. So that's the end of this children's book. I thought it was pretty cute.